Welcome back to WELDUCATED. On today's episode, I'm going to be teaching you how to take root correctly. We're going to be talking about tungsten and cut placement, adding filament correctly, identifying mistakes before they happen, the setup of the joint we're going to be welding today, making you an all-round better welder. So the joint we're going to be welding today is a V-butt groove weld, 6mm plate. It's got a 40-degree bevel on either side. We've got a 2.5 gap, a 1mm on the landing, or you may call it a root face. We've got a 1mm root face. Probably going to be using anywhere from 70 to 85 amps. It just depends on if she's going to close up as we're welding along due to the heat. Size 5 cup with a gas lens. Now my tungsten stick out, it's a little bit more than normal. I want to be able to show you a bit more clear in the video, so that's why it's a bit more of a stick out. We're going to be using 1.6 ER70S6 filler wire. So let me show you the welder. Before you start going, make sure to get that tack nice and hot. You want it to be nice and free flowing, and then you can start adding your filler wire in just on the tip toe of the backside, okay, on the leading edge of the puddle. I'm using a lay wire technique, so what I like to do, I don't dip my wire in there. I leave my wire in the pool and I just encourage it in. I let the puddle do most of the work. I'm just feeding it gently, going side to side, making sure I'm hitting both of my walls and it's fusing correctly. Don't just rush in and ram your wire in, because you'll just cool the puddle straight down and you'll have to wait for things to establish again, and then you can restart. With your stop-starts, start a little bit further back, because if you can see what I'm doing, I'm waiting for that puddle to get flowing again, get up to speed, and then I'll start introducing my filler wire again going forward. You know, it's one of those joints where you've just got to practice, get that hood time in, and I promise you, it's not that hard of a joint. Once you get the feeling for it, you know how the puddle moves, you kind of know how, if you're routing it correctly, you'll just pick it up as you go along. This is the finished result. I've wire wheeled it all the way along just to make sure you can see it a bit more clear. I'll take you right in now. I'm going to show you where I done my stop-start here. This is the point where I said make sure that it's up to speed again, the puddle, and make sure it's hot enough before you start introducing the wire again. So yeah, that's the V-butt done. I need to explain this to you a little bit more in detail. Now I know theory can be boring, but I'm going to explain this in a way that you'll be able to pick it up quickly. If you haven't noticed yet, this joint, this exercise, is primarily used for pipe welding. Now I know a pipe is round and a plate is flat. Curtis, what are you talking about? It's exactly the same thing. We treat it the same way. The puddle flows the same. We have the same angles, the same gaps. We're using the same welding process, and it's a lot more forgiving. We can flip the plate over and check if we're routing it correctly, what problems we're having, how to fix it. Other than when we've tacked up a pipe, we've routed the pipe. If we've messed it up, we've got to cut that pipe in half again and restart. But with a plate, cut it straight down the middle, prep it again and tack it together. Now, we have wire placement I want to talk about. We have two diagrams. We have 3G vertical and we've got 1G flat. Do you remember when I was saying to you, making sure the wire's on the leading edge, making sure it's on the back side of the toe? It's a little bit confusing. Now I'll make it a bit easier for you to take in. We've got incorrect and we've got correct. You do not want to be putting your wire in this way. You do not want to be putting your wire in this way. It'll still go through, but it won't be through enough to the point where you're happy with the penetration or the reinforcement. You want to be making sure that your wire is aiming right here, okay? Just on the tippy toe of the back side, okay? And what this does then, it makes sure that your wire's on the back side, so when it's fusing in, you've got the correct reinforcement on the back side. Going on to vertical, when and if you get there, which you will eventually, have a practice what you want to be doing, okay? There's two things I want to explain to you. Same thing again. Incorrect. Do not go putting your wire in this way. Make sure that your wire is just on the tip-toe back side. That's where you want to be placing it. With your tungsten and your cup, it's not like going flat where your tungsten or your cup is going to be straight down. Do not go straight with this because there's going to be too much heat going into your joint and the root is just going to flow everywhere. It's going to drop out your backside. Make sure that you're pointing your tungsten up, okay? You're going at an incline. And what this does then, it allows the heat to spread out a little bit further on your bevel and you're able to control the root a bit more. The next thing I want to go on to, which is the last thing for our theory then, it's suck back, okay? And I'll explain that a bit more to you now. What do you think? 10 out of 10 for my drawing skills? So, suck back, what is it and how do we fix it? Suck back is pretty much the same thing as lack of penetration, okay? But except we're not using enough filler wire, or you may be using a bit too much heat into the joint, okay? Where you can see over here, it's correct. We've got the proper penetration, the adequate amount. And then this side end, it's a little bit sorry for itself. It's gone concave, okay? It's gone in on itself. And the way to fix this then is you want to be adding a little bit more filler wire. You don't want to be going too slow. And what I advise on your joint when you're practicing, do a little bit of the joint with a little bit of filler wire, and then do a little bit more with a lot more, and then a lot more again. And then flip the plate over and you can see exactly what's correct and what's incorrect. Going forward, you'll have a gauge for exactly what you want it to look like or how it feels when you're welding. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and press the bell icon to stay up to date. Take care of yourself, stay tuned.